Dear students, welcome to lecture 5 of week 7, wherein we have been discussing about documentation overview. Today, we are going to discuss on a very important topic, that is regulatory documents, which includes shipping bill, bill of lading, etc. Let us begin the journey. First of all, we will go through the contents of today's discussion. We will start the discussion with introduction of the topic, followed by role and importance of regulatory documents. After that, we will talk about key categories of regulatory documentation, followed by shipping bill and bill of export. Consequently, we will try to understand bill of lading, airway bill and insurance certificate, followed by developing an understanding of export declaration form such as GR and SDF. After that, we will talk about export license and permits, followed by custom clearance process and role of regulatory documents. Finally, we will conclude our discussion. At the very outset, it is important to appreciate the important role which regulatory documents plays in export and import. Regulatory documents ensure compliance with statutory, customs, and exchange control requirements in international trade. We all can imagine that rules and regulations, custom procedures, international laws all have to be fulfilled in order to export goods from one country to another country. This facilitation is assisted by regulatory documents. Thus, regulatory documents becomes very important for trade facilitation. These regulatory documents are mandatory for certain types of activities such as shipment clearance, foreign exchange realization, as well as policy compliance. If we talk about clearance, a ship cannot leave port with goods unless and until regulatory documents are produced, verified, and when they are found error free. Similarly, foreign exchange realization requires the involvement of different financial institutions and banks. However, banks and financial institutions rely heavily on the regulatory documents for clearance of foreign exchange transactions. Thus, again, for payment realization, it is important that regulatory documents should be verifiable and should be in control. In addition to this, the policy compliance is also very important. For example, an exporter exporting goods from India need to comply with foreign trade policy of India. How the verifying officer is going to know that policies have been complied with? It is only through the regulatory documents that the custom clearance houses, the government officials can investigate and reach to conclusion that policy measures have been complied with. Thus, regulatory documents becomes very important for all such clearances. Similarly, these documents are issued or verified by government authorities, custom authorities, or other regulatory agencies. These three together form the total institutional framework of export and import. Thus, we can justify the point that regulatory documents facilitate lawful movement of goods, data transparency, as well as accountability. Let us now try to understand the role and importance of regulatory document. A, regu- a regulatory document provides official authorization for goods to be exported. The official authorization is important because it shows that proper rules and regulations have been complied with. Similarly, another importance of regulatory documents is to ensure conformity with trade, customs regulations, and foreign exchange laws. All these laws form part of the institutional mechanism of foreign trade of a country. Thus, it is very important to follow these rules, regulations, and laws in letter as well as in spirit. The third important role of regulatory documents pertains to recording of export value and other specifications such as quantity, product details, etc. for national statistics. These national statistics, also known as trade statistics, are very important for forecasting of trade as well as for identifying the impact of specific trade policy. Thus, policy reforms and policy changes are only possible when trade and national statistics are there at the disposal. Another important role played by regulatory document is to enable the traceability of the goods as well as audit by customs, DGFT, that is Directorate General of Foreign Trade, and Reserve Bank of India. All these institutions work to identify the authenticity and legality of the foreign trade originating from India. Thus, to verify and to identify the lawful conditions of the trade, regulatory documents are used as evidence by these institutions. Thus, it is very important to appreciate that regulatory documents are essential documents for claiming incentives, duty drawbacks, and GST refunds. At times, the exporter is looking towards the duty drawback because it gives them incentives to compete in the international market with other competitors. But these duty drawback benefits as well as other incentives can be only claimed by presenting and showing as well as submitting the regulatory documents. Thus, again, regulatory documents very important for trade facilitation and benefits to the exporter. Let us now try to see the different categories of regulatory documents. The first is customs documents. These documents include shipping bill, bill of export, export declaration form, etc., which helps for clearing of the customs. The second is transport and title documents such as bill of lading, airway bill, consignment note that identifies the transport method used as well as the claim of the ownership. The third category of regulatory documents is control and compliance documents, such as export licenses, other certifications, and different permits. These are required in order to export the goods as well as it requires to match with the international standards. In such scenarios, certificates are required. The fourth category of regulatory documents is financial or exchange documents. These are these include GR forms, bank realization certificates, etc., which helps to facilitate the foreign exchange transaction as well as the payment realization. And finally, the fifth category of regulatory documents is insurance and risk control certificates such as marine insurance certificate. These documents are used to claim the benefits of insurance in case of any losses. Let us now focus on shipping bill or bill of export. These are the primary documents that are for custom use. They are used for export clearance in India. These documents are filed through IceGate or EDI system which prevails in India. These documents serves as a declaration by the exporter containing shipment details and value. Thus, most of the specifications related to goods, including the value of goods, are explained under shipping bill and bill of export. They are also the essential documents for customs assessment, duty exemption, as well as statistical recording, which can generate the trade statistics for the country. Shipping bill and export bills are generated under the Customs Act of 1962 and the prevalent foreign trade policy guidelines. Let us try to see the main contents of the shipping bill. A typical shipping bill contains exporter and importer details, description of the goods quantity, and the harmonized system code of the goods such as 16400.26, free on board value, currency in which the trade is going to be facilitated, and country of destination. It also includes port of loading, mode of transport, and vessel details. This particular shipping bill also considers important details such as the duty drawback claim, the reference numbers such as MEIOs and RODTEP. In addition to this, it also includes declaration under Foreign Exchange Management Act and Goods and Service Tax compliance. This is an example and a sample of shipping bill. As we can see, the shipping bill is mentioned over here. Exporter is mentioned, the details will come here. Consignee is mentioned, the invoice number and date will come at the top again. Similarly, the certificates which are there will come, the quality certificates, Q certificates are written, export trade control, who is going to control, and all the related issues are also mentioned, which tells about the mode of payment, mode of operation, etc. It also includes pre-carriage by which particular company, the port of discharge, where the port of discharge will be, the country of destination, where the goods will land, etc. If we go downside, we can see the serial number, marks on the goods, number and kind of packages, container number, statistical code of the goods, quantity and value of free on board, and the total value of free on board will also be mentioned, and all other auxiliary things are also mentioned. You can see here freight, insurance, commission, discount, other such charges and deductions as well. And if we go at the bottom of the shipping bill, we can see the declaration is also there, which is very important legal parameter. Also, import particulars of the bonded goods in case the goods are linked, bill of entry, vessel name, number of packages, etc. So you can see that this particular shipping bill is a very comprehensive document at, and it includes most relevant and important things, and merely going through the shipping bill can reveal lots of information that may be helpful for several things like customs, like the regulatory bodies, also for foreign exchange transactions, etc. Thus, this document becomes a very important document for exporter as well as other people. In addition to this, this document is also generating data that can be termed as the national statistical data or the trade statistics data. Thus, the data generated by the collection of all these shipping bills can also be used in policy considerations. Let us now try to discuss the different types of shipping bill which are applicable in India. The first is free shipping bill. It is used for goods without export incentives. The second type is drawback shipping bill. It is used for exports claiming duty drawback. We all know in order to promote certain specific goods or specific sectors, government extend the duty drawback benefit. That is, whatever duty is being paid will be reimbursed back to the exporter with certain conditions. Thus, the exporters can take benefit of duty drawback incentive, but it is mandatory that for that drawback shipping bill should be explored and used in export import. The third type of shipping bill is the DEEC or the Advanced License Shipping Bill. This particular bill tells about the details related to duty exemption schemes that are applicable to a specific product or sector. The fifth type of bill is the bonded or warehouse shipping bill. These are the bills which are used for goods from bonded warehouses. These are also very important because in certain specific sector, the use of bonded warehouses becomes very important. Thus, we can justify that each type of shipping bill in India serves a distinct regulatory and policy purpose. Thus, we cannot say that one is more important than other, but we can surely say that all these are important and relevant to specific scenarios in international trade. Let us now try to understand the role of customs in shipping bill processing. The shipping bill processing and customs are related because customs process all these bills and based on it, the goods leave the country. The role of custom is to verify based on product classification, valuation, and export eligibility. In other words, the customs check whether what has been mentioned on the shipping bill is actually present physically. Also, customs in shipping bill processing ensures compliance with export control, restricted items, and licensing rules. In addition to this, it also approves shipment only after declarations are verified. You can recall that we have seen a sample of shipping bill and below the bill there is always an acknowledgement, and this acknowledgement is what we are talking here. Also, the shipping bill processing links export data with international and national bodies. In context of India, it links the data with the DGFT, that is Directorate General of Foreign Trade, and Reserve Bank of India, as well as with the port authorities electronically. Shipping bill processing through customs also generates an electronic shipping bill number for tracking, which is known as SB number. Let us now try to discuss another type of regulatory document, that is bill of lading. We will talk about its concept and importance. Bill of lading is the most important transport document as well as the title document in sea shipments. Title document means it is the document which proves the ownership. Bill of lading is issued by the shipping company or its agent to the exporter after loading. The bill of lading serves three key functions. Number one, the receipt, that is, acknowledgement of goods received on board. Number two, contract of carriage. It provides evidence of shipping terms between carrier and shipper. Number three, it is the document of title. It ensures the transfer ownership or right to claim goods. Dear students, we have a sample of bill of lading and we will try to understand all the contents of bill of lading in this particular slide. If you see at the top, we have the date, and we have the ship from, all the details where the ship from is coming and ship to where is the destination, and this is the origin. Third party freight charges bill, this is also there. Bill of lading if number and barcode will come over here. The carrier name, that is the vessel name, and other different barcodes that are used for transport. If we go into the middle of this bill of lading, we can see the customer order number is there, number of packages, weight, all these things are there. Additional shipper information is also added. For example, some extra care is required, etc. And the grand total. Handling units, what are the quantities, the types, quantities, types, packaging, and weight. All these are also mentioned for facilitating the clearance. The commodity description is a separate column in which all the details are being added. If we go to the lower part of the bill of lading, we can see the different notes are there which are disclaimers related to these bills. The total declaration is also there and signature you can see is also there, and different check boxes are there which tells whether these things are applicable through this bill of lading or not. You can see over here, trailer loaded, who is going to bear, the shipper or the driver or both. Similarly, freight counted, who is going to bear, the shipper, the driver or the driver per pieces. All these things are mentioned over here. The bill of lading may extend to 2 pages, that's why page 1 of 1 or 2. So you can see over here, this bill of lading is such a comprehensive document that it becomes very important to see all the details for facilitating the transport. Bill of lading also generates lots of data for national statistics and trade statistics. Thus, it's a very comprehensive document, and according to aligned documentation system, the top part of this document matches with other regulatory documents. Let us now try to understand the different types of bill of lading. The first type is clean bill of lading, wherein no adverse remarks on goods or packaging is written. The second is closed bill of lading, where discrepancies or damages are noted. The third type is on-board bill of lading, where the bill of lading certifies loading on the vessel, which is required under letter of credits. The fourth type is receive for shipment bill of lading, which acknowledges goods received for future loading. The fifth is straight bill of lading, where we have features such as non-transferability and it is issued to a specific consignee. And the final one is the order bill of lading, which is transferable by endorsement and it contains negotiable instrument. Dear students, let us now try to understand the essential elements of a bill of lading. The first essential element is name of shipper, consignee and notify party, which comes in the top part of the bill of lading. Then come the part of loading and destination, which also comes in the top part but on the left side. And then we have vessel name, voyage number and shipment date. These also come on the top part, followed by marks, numbers and description of goods, which comes in the middle part of the bill of lading. After that, we have freight terms, prepaid, collect and number of original, which comes in the lower middle part. And finally, we have signature of the carrier or master and date of issue, which comes in the lower part. So all these elements are essential, but apart from that, some other additional elements may be added by the exporter and importer through their discussion as per the requirement. Let us now focus on the airway bill, which is known as AWB in short. Airway bill is equivalent to bill of lading, but it is used for air shipments. Thus, the only difference is that bill of lading is used in sea routes and airway bill is a bill of lading used in air shipments. It is issued by the airlines or freight forwarder upon cargo acceptance. This airway bill acts as number one, receipt of goods, number two, contract for carriage by air, and number three, it's a non negotiable transport document and not a title document. It means with the airway bill, the ownership cannot be determined. The airway bill follows the International Air Transport Association's standard format, wherein three original copies of the airway bill are required for transporting of the goods. Here we have a sample of airway bill. If you see over here at the top, we have the shipper and then we have the consignee. We have airway bill by which group, issued by, and number is also there. Then further you can see several accounting information is in this part, followed by the detailing of the goods is in the middle part. Also, if we go at the downside, you can see the signature is there and other information related to air transport are also there. So the whole logistical arrangement through airlines is being shown in this airway bill. Thus, this airway bill becomes very important component. If you see over here, this part focuses on nature and quantity of goods. So the detailing is also present in airway bill. Thus, airway bill becomes a very important document through for the transport of goods through airlines. Let us now move to another important regulatory document, that is insurance certificate. Insurance certificate is required under CIF, that is Cost Insurance and Freight, or CIP, that is Carriage and Insurance Paid To. These are the contracts or they are as per the buyer protection. The insurance certificates are issued by insurance companies or agents that confirm the cargo coverage. These insurance certificates specifically These insurance certificates specifies risk covered such as marine risk of theft, pilferage risk of fire or risk of war. These certificates states the insured value, usually 110% of invoice value, as well as serves as proof for claim settlement in case of transit loss. Another document which is very important is export declaration form, that is GR and SDA forms. These forms are mandated, that is compulsory by the Reserve Bank of India under Foreign Exchange Management Act of 1999. These forms declare full export value and method of realization such as collection, letter of credit, etc. These declaration forms are signed electronically with the shipping bill through IceGate. The importance of these documents is that they ensure foreign exchange proceeds. They ensure that foreign exchange proceeds are received with permitted timelines. Not only this, export declaration forms facilitates monitoring of export earnings by Reserve Bank of India and other banks as well as financial institutions. Let us try to understand export licenses and permits. Export licenses are required for restricted or controlled goods under the Foreign Trade that Development and Regulation Act of 1992. These are issued by Directorate General of Foreign Trade and Foreign Trade Policy Schedules. These include SCO MET license, which is for dual use goods, then quota or country specific export permissions. export licenses and permits ensures national security, environmental protection, as well as trade compliance. Let us now shed some light on the custom clearance process and role of regulatory documents. Regulatory documents form the basis for export clearance. We have already highlighted that without regulatory documents, exports cannot leave one country to reach to another country. Thus, the export clearance has a process and there are different stages. The first is filing of shipping bill through IceGate or EDI. After that, the second stage starts where customs assessment and examination starts using invoice, packing list and licenses. There may also be a specific reason to check for certification in case the goods are going to high valued markets. The third step follows, which is approval of duty drawback or incentive claims. At times, exporters are concerned about the incentives and duty drawbacks. Thus, before sending the goods, it is important that approval for such incentives and duty drawback should be taken care of. The fourth step is issue of net let export order authorizing shipment, and finally filing of the export general manifest by the courier. Thus, we can understand that accurate documentation ensures legal compliance, faster clearance, and smooth logistics in export import trade. Let us now try to understand the significance in trade governance and policy. The significance of these regulatory documents. Regulatory documentation provides important and vital data for national export monitoring, as well as generation of trade statistics for policy considerations. The trade governance and policy is improved by the use of regulatory documents because regulatory documents ensures transparency, compliance and accountability. These regulatory documents also facilitates automated data sharing between customs, banks, policy bodies and other relevant institutions. They also support trade analytics, performance tracking, and incentive dispersals. There are different forms of regulatory bodies, and the regulatory bodies thus becomes the backbone of trade facilitation and digital governance in terms of export and imports. Dear students, let us now conclude what all we have discussed in today's lecture. We have identified that regulatory documents form the legal and procedural framework of export operations. Also, these regulatory documents ensure lawful shipment, compliance with policy, and realization of export proceed. The integration of such documents through aligned documentation system and EDI enhances efficiency and data integrity. Thus, proper handling of shipping bill, bill of lading, and related forms safeguards exporter interest. Thus, it would be justified in the end to conclude that mastery of regulatory documentation is essential for global trade compliance and competitiveness. Dear students, thank you very much for being there with me in this session.